don't know what to do with AI, with just how things are changing. Like, what can I do to be able to keep moving forward?
Like we talked about, there's always someone who could do it cheaper, right? Where do you want to be in the market? How do you want to be perceived?
That's how you not remove yourself from getting a commodity.
Welcome back to the Content Parlor. As you can see, things have changed a little bit. We're starting season 3 today. Yeah. Thank you for everybody that's been rocking with us. I'm your co-host Dion over at Stable Gray. You can find me on social media at dion.api. Actually, shameless plug, started up a YouTube channel talking about traveling as well. That is Dion's Adventures. I'll put that in the description below. Got my co-host with me today.
Yep, Teddy Young. Good to be back with a fresh set, new season, man. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get back rolling.
Hope the people like it, man. Hope the people like it.
Yeah.
We got a whole new format too. Everything's changed.
Everything's different, man.
New branding, new backdrop.
And it's all for you.
Yes.
We did it for you. We're thinking about you. And when you're watching this, it's like, how can we make this better for the audience?
I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you made it better for everybody.
So let us know what you think, please.
So let's do a quick little rundown of how things are going to go. So coming up today, we've got a new series that we're starting up called the Content Patrol. It's where we go out and we actually give feedback to real content creators on their platform about what they're doing, and also just shouting them out, recognizing people for the great work that they're putting out on social media.
Yeah, just an extension of Parlor Awards, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, celebrating the local creatives and the work they putting in.
It can't just be one day, man. We got to keep the party going.
Yeah, so, you know, it's such a good, it's like, man, how can we keep doing that?
Right.
So we'll do 1 or 2 each episode.
Why not?
Man.
Makes sense to me.
So who do we got?
Before we get to that,
okay,
quick housekeeping. Current trends. We're going to talk about some current trends, some things that are going on in the industry as it pertains to you, the content creator. We want to help you to navigate the creative space, so we'll help out with that. And then we've got a special guest coming up today. All right, this is a real content creator, a photographer who's on the grind here in Omaha, Nebraska, and has some very interesting perspectives. Joseph Saaid will be on the show coming up in just a second. But we will finish out the show with our biggest takeaways, all right? Now, this is exclusive. We're only going to give you guys this kind of an overview of the show on this first episode. So hopefully you like the new format. Let us know in the comments below if the set looks better and all that good stuff. So you were saying what's coming up for Content Patrol?
Yeah, what we got going on? Who's the first?
There can only be one first.
Man.
And the first that we chose had to be related to what's going on in the city of Omaha. We're talking about Jordan the Ninja.
Oh my goodness, Jordan the Ninja.
Jordan the Ninja. Let's go ahead and pull his page up on Instagram. I've got that up now.
Man.
Now, Jordan the Ninja, you know, what can people expect when they follow his page? Let me hear that from you first. What can people expect from this page?
Okay, I'll say this. I started following this page a while back, and it transitioned. First, when you first got on this page, you could find, you know, updates about his music, where he's playing, but man, the guy was into fashion, you know, so he had different fits and things like that for you to check out, like getting ready with me and or outfit of the day.
Outfit of the day.
Yeah, very fashionable guy. But now, man, if you are in Omaha that's getting around the city and you're just frustrated about all the construction that's going on, and you want to be lifted up, maybe have a laugh and chuckle, I would say going to his page will do that.
Okay.
And if you want to get what he's recently started doing, get some current update or funny takes on some current news and weather.
He's got that too.
I mean, he's adding a lot of stuff there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Shout out to Jordan the Ninja. So, what do we think of this page? I'll go first.
Okay.
I think, first of all, definitely give him a follow. You'd be crazy not to, get some laughs out of it. Now, we're not following on this page, but we could change that really quickly. Easy peasy.
I follow him. It says, oh, like, oops.
So I'll be the first to take action on that.
There we go. Give him a follow.
Handled. Now, what I see here is the evolution of a brand. All right.
Okay.
I think, so first of all, I think the quirky, kind of classic, almost like a zoot suit kind of, he's got a unique mix of clothing that he's put together that really works well with Omaha, because Omaha is kind of an eclectic city, very artsy city, and this kind of plays well with that. But then I also think because he's a musician, he's in a group, makes music, this works well with his brand as well. So in the future, we will have some criteria on how we patrol people's content. But today, just start off with, I like his aesthetic. I think it's original.
Yeah.
I love the street shots. Somebody had to say it. All he's really doing at the end of the day is saying what we all want to say, but we don't know who to say it to or how to say it. In fact, I actually saw him on the news a few weeks ago talking about him and these different parodies that he's doing of the street traffic and the congestion and the construction that's going on. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I agree a lot with what you said. The character, he created a character. It's kind of got that mob boss type vibe. But that's my interpretation. And Omaha does have have a lot of history. You know what I'm saying, with the mob or whatnot.
Yeah, that's a
which
good
I
point.
learned in high school. For some reason, our history teacher taught us a lot about Omaha history. But it's consistent. The character just draws you in.
Yeah.
The different fits, and he always stays in character.
Yeah.
And then it's not too long either. It's not too long. Very short, quick, simple format, repeatable. And then he's also expanding. Like I saw him do something on weather, and then he did something on a couple of news stories, local news stories that probably made national attention, like probably the sinkhole.
Gosh.
The Mama's Pizza, the car driving into it, and then I won't go into detail, but the pool situation.
Yeah.
The hotel.
Yeah, I think those are great takes. You're looking at a rising star. He's already got the talent, and I think that's another aspect of this is it's not an overnight success story. He's been working on his brand for years.
For a while, yeah.
And this is just the evolution of it. So I'm a fan. So the one thing I would say that he can do to help elevate his brand is to lean more into the collaborations. Every now and then he'll have a collaboration with somebody. I've seen him doing the collaborations with Jewel Rogers, which love them sharing, letting us get a look into their lives together, which is great. But every now and then he'll do a collaboration and bring someone else on the show as well.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing that he can do to enhance it, is to incorporate some of these collaborations and be strategic about the people that he has on, maybe tie it in with what their brand is about. I forget the guy's name that everybody says he looks like Michael B. Jordan, and he does the thing in the mirror where he like zooms in.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I like how he's incorporated celebrities into his skits.
Those cameos.
Yeah, those different cameos. And the thing that's nice about it is there's always a tie-in, either with something they want to promote that's coming up, or just them being in character like they would be in a movie or something like that. So I think Jordan the Ninja can do the same thing. He can incorporate some of those influencers that he wants to partner with to help enhance it. But other than that, I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, man, I'm interested to see, what he do next. You know what I'm saying? Where he's gonna take it, because he got a lot of eyes. He's doing a lot of podcasts and news stories and shows and things like that. So he has an opportunity for sure.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Right on.
We got one more for the people out there. This is a photographer who's actually from Columbia but lives here in Omaha. How do you get from Columbia to Omaha, Nebraska? Leave us a comment below. Should we have Susie Franco on the podcast? Would you guys like to see an episode with Susie Franco? I certainly think it makes a lot of sense to do so. But she's our next, what are we going to call him? What are you if you get pulled over by the cops? Are you a suspect? Susie Franco is our next suspect on
We'll go with that for now.
the Content Patrol. We are patrolling social media and seeing what people are posting on their pages.
Okay.
All right, so this is Susie Franco. Susie Franco posts content about photography and also about business. She does reels on a look at her behind the scenes, working on her productions and showcasing her work. Her page has had some viral moments, but the majority of her videos kind of range in that same 500 to 2,000 view range, which is great. That's a great start. I mean, if you had a room full of 2,000 people, you're doing pretty good if you can get 2,000 people to show up for you. But I love the storytelling aspect. I love the camera angles. I think visually her content is, worth 100,000 views per video. I mean, I don't see any difference between this and something Peter McKinnon would post.
Right on.
And that's no slight to Peter McKinnon. He's a beast. But I think that's kind of the aesthetic, the look. What are you seeing as you look at her page?
You see, I'm not as familiar with her page, but the aesthetic looks great. Like you said, the quality looks good. Look like it's very consistent. Sorry about that. But I think it's just tapping into that, like I said, tapping into that behind the scenes and, giving that story. You know what I'm saying? People are very interested in what that looks like besides just the finished product.
Good info. Yeah, I think, one of the things that's working for her is definitely, it's kind of moody, but in all of her posts, she kind of shows her color grading, whether it be photo or video. There's always color grading incorporated in.
Yeah, very clean.
Yeah, super clean. And it's got a branded intro as well, which helps to separate it from that's something you notice on both Jordan the Ninja and Susie Franco. They both have.
Is our outro the same too?
Yeah. That animated camera. Okay. So I think those things work really well. One thing I think Susie can do to help enhance her page is, I think, to show she's kind of got to define does she want to be known for helping others, or does she want to be known for the photography work that she showcasing her work? Because if she wants to be known for showcasing her work, then I think the angle that she can incorporate into this already really great page is behind the scenes, a little bit more behind the scenes when she does her productions. She does it sometimes, but it's more informational. But it would be good. And what I mean by informational is oh, by the way, I do this. I think if she can capture more of the behind the scenes, like this shot here, her camera settings and things like that, that will help to position her as an expert with the camera. Visually, she's got it. It's just adding those couple of elements. So I think Susie Franco is on her way. Shout out to Susie Franco Photography, and welcome to Omaha, Nebraska.
Right on.
All right, so moving on to our next segment. We're talking about what's happening right now in the space, current trends, and a gear review. So, you know, one of the things we were just talking about Susie Franco photography. One of the things that's been trending lately is like blurry photography.
That is so interesting you say that, because I was just, you know, looking at trends and stuff like that, and it is. And you know why?
Why is it?
Okay, so again, you know, AI just keeps getting incorporated in every conversation. But the thing about AI is really polished. It's really polished and crisp and clean. And so there's this trend of like authenticity and more, you know, photography people are leaning more into the blur to stand apart from that. That's what I've seen.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So not more raw. You know what I'm saying? So you know for sure it's like, man, that ain't AI, you know. So real polished is not the thing anymore. Photographers are trying to, you know, separate themselves from that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we've got some shots here of some blurry photography.
And film grain.
That is
hot now.
Things like that. And these just kind of showcase some of what blurry photos look like and what's trending right now. Yeah. Sometimes it's just taking a filter, placing a filter on your camera and things like that. And that's what we're going to get into next, is how people are creating the blurry look in this age of super sharp lenses, auto mode on your cell phone. Like a lot of your shots are just sharp. So how do you get this blurry look? Well, the first step is to have motion as you're triggering your shutter on your phone, on your camera. Setting a lower aperture if you can use manual mode. Lowering your aperture down creates more depth of field, which means there's less area in which the lens will be sharp. So when I mean lowering your aperture, I mean lowering it to a lower number. So if you're at f7, lowering your aperture to f4, f3, 3.2 is a common one. That will introduce more blur naturally. Another thing that you can do is lower your shutter speed. Right. So if you're at a shutter of 1/250, lowering your shutter down to 1/80 will help to introduce more natural looking blur.
Right, because it shoots slower.
Right. Well, the shutter is open longer, which means it's not capturing a precise moment, it's capturing more moments, which means more information, which means more blur. Yep. And then, like we said in the beginning, motion, adding motion. So moving the camera a little bit as you're taking your shot will help to spread those pixels out and create that blur. If you're more advanced, another thing you can do, like in this one, is use like a filter. So a filter can be applied in post-production, actually using AI.
Yeah.
Or you can have you can add an ND filter to the front of your lens. There's also filters that create blur, like a Pro Mist filter. There's just different filters like that you can add. So all of those things will help you to create that blurry look that is becoming popular. And another thing you can do is shoot in the dark or shoot in a darker setting if you're on like a cell phone, because that will force your camera to have a longer exposure time, which will help to introduce blur.
Yeah. I've even seen post-production, AI or different filters you can put on now to give that, because the other popular look is like that harsher, like light, you know what I'm saying, look. So now you can do that in post-production.
Yeah, and I imagine that's the same idea, right? It's like that's something AI can't easily do. So it kind of makes sense that people are doing that too.
It was interesting to see them like, okay, that's a look people are going for now. Man, it's wild.
That's good info. I would say this, when we talk about like when you should use it, I would definitely caution. Let me get a close up here. I highly recommend that you don't overuse the blurry photos. Just because that's a trend doesn't mean all of your photos need to be blurry. Incorporate it in. You know, if you're doing like some field work and you want to make it look natural, you can have a couple sharp photos, but then maybe go ahead and post a couple of the blurry ones too. Maybe your body language was good, but it was just a little out of focus. Go ahead and post those blurry ones, and that will help to present you as authentic. I've actually started doing that. If there's a good photo where I'm laughing or my body language is good, just go ahead and post it, even if it's out of focus. So what you shouldn't do is just post all blurry photos.
Yeah, that, like you said, just the rawness. People are looking more for that now versus just everything just super polished and perfect.
Yeah, it's good info. Quick conversation about gear review. So I heard Sony, actually this lens has been out for a while, but it kind of flew under the radar. So I found out recently Sony G Master released a 50-150 f2 lens.
All the way through?
All the way through. Let's go ahead and pull it up and take a look at it here. So the thing for me that's really crazy when you talk about a G Master f2 is, first of all, whoa, f2, that's really, really creamy.
Yeah.
But number two is 150 millimeters. That's a really, really long lens. So when would you ever use the 150 at f2?
Gosh.
I mean, the background is just going to be like a painting brush, like some wet paint just smeared all over the place.
I don't even know, because because when you get to that kind of distance, it doesn't even need to be down to an f2 to do that. Huh?
Yeah, it does. Our operator over here says, yeah, it does. There's a use for it. Shout out to Caleb for being the contrarian.
Yeah, it does.
I would say this. It's starting at $3,999. Or if you go with the firm, it's $139 per month, apparently, right now. It's an expensive lens. That's the bottom line. It's an expensive lens.
What does it say, though? What does it say you would use this for?
Well, easy returns, definitely for that. But I definitely think it's a great cinema lens for that, because a lot of times with cinema lenses, it's nice to just have one lens that you can just leave on there and then just use your servo or whatever to reframe your shot.
Okay.
So I could see
video.
Yeah, I could see it for video. I think it even though it's f2, having the option of 50-150 at f2 is really powerful. Like, let's say you're shooting close to twilight or dusk. You may need to open up like that while you're doing wildlife.
I can really see it for video for sure. I just think, because it would look like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly,
creamy background. But good information though. Is this a lens I would buy? I would say yes, because I'm a huge fan of G Master, but it would definitely be a lens on the bottom end of the priority list of lenses.
Just sit in the basket for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean the 70 to 200 covers most of that range, and the 70 to 200 f2.8 is only 0.8 aperture slower, so it's gonna be a similar look. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our first guest for this season. That's what I'm trying to say there. Once I got it out.
Right on.
So we're going to cut to a commercial break, and we will be right back to bring you our first guest of season 3. This episode of the Content Parlor is brought to you by Hayes & Associates, LLC. From tax strategy to full-scale financial management, Hayes & Associates delivers expert accounting, audit, and CFO services, helping businesses and individuals stay compliant, smarter, and build lasting financial success. Visit hayes.cpa today to start your financial journey.
All right, so today we've got Joseph Saaid with us, an Omaha-based photographer who focuses on helping people and brands show up with credibility. His work is less about just taking pictures and more about how you're perceived before you even speak. He recently debuted his first exhibit, Still Egypt. So we're excited for this one. Come on, Joseph.
Hey, thank you.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
What's up?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show. How you feeling?
Of course. Feeling good. Yeah.
Good, good. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into this space and your particular type of creative work?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so photography for me started, like a lot of people, as a hobby. My dad is the person I owe, honestly, my career to, really, because he gifted me my first camera when I was 10. And honestly, I was really hooked since that point. So
what camera was it?
it was,
was that?
It was a small, I want to say it was a Canon PowerShot, just a small like pocket digital, Yep.
Interesting.
Right on.
And so from that time, obviously you really polished your craft. What do you shoot with now? And we'll get into a little bit of camera talk in a bit, but what do you shoot with and what's your style? What would you define your style as?
Sure. Yeah, so right now I shoot with a Canon system. I use the R6 currently, and I'm honestly not much of a gear person, which I know a lot of photographers are. But I mean, yeah, for me, it's all about the work, to be honest. And the way I describe my work is, I think I like to focus more on kind of that interpersonal connection with my subjects. So really trying to portray them as approachable, confident, knowledgeable in what they do. But yeah, human connection is at the heart of what I do. Yeah.
Fair. Well, we were talking off camera a little bit just about, the industry right now, the way things are going. Obviously, AI is always a hot topic, but from your perspective, I mean, what's really happening with photography right now? Where's the industry at, and where do you think things are kind of evolving to be in the next, let's say, 2 years?
Yeah. I think photography it's at a sort of like a crossroads, if you will, with all the talk about AI. I think, I'm not gonna say all of photography is changing. I think it's just more, this is a time where people decide how they wanna adapt, if they wanna adapt. It's more about which path do they wanna go down. Because I think photography will be around, for a really long time. I don't know how long, but so I don't see it going away by any means. I think just it's gonna look a little different. And so it's just a time for creatives to decide, what side of history do they want to be on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We were kind of talking earlier, you said something I hadn't really heard before, as far as like how, photographers perceive it, because we talked about the external factors, but internally you said something like it's a luxury.
Yeah. So yeah, when I said that earlier, I mentioned that photography, it's not something that we need to be alive. It's not like food, water.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about the mindset that photographers and creatives have in general, of maybe sometimes they try and maybe discount it or make it affordable for people, which there's definitely something to be said about that. And if that's what you want to do, like, that's great. But I think a lot of creatives want to make it their full-time living. And so you kind of have to change your mindset. And I said it was luxury, not in the sense that like it is literally a luxury like good or service, but compared to everyday services and products you buy, when you look at them, that's when it's closer to a luxury, because like I said, you don't need it to survive. And so I think a lot of creatives need to start treating it that way. Because at the end of the day, like, people come to us because, at least in the commercial side of things like me, is we're solving a problem. And so that's why I said, that comment about the luxury.
So let's unpack that just a little bit. So there's a lot of ways people can interpret that. When I think about AI and I think about generative AI and using AI to generate images, do you think that people need to adopt that methodology as a way of like enhancing their images, fixing problems with their images, or even creating an image that tells a story that they want to tell? Or do you see that being kind of a gimmick that's kind of going to die out?
I honestly don't know that I really almost view it in those terms. Like I kind of like to think of it as, at the end of the day, it's just a tool. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but so I think it really, a lot of it comes down to like your personal choice. How do you want to produce your work, your art? For example, in the painting world, like I don't know that it's as controversial. Like if someone's using one paintbrush instead of another, like it's all just personal choice. What type of work do you want to make? What tool works for you? So if you want to be, super boutique, everything is like quote unquote hand edited. That's a term that some people use. Then good for you, but you kind of have to commit to the choice that you're making. If you're wanting to maybe work with the most amount of clients possible, it might make sense for you to use these tools because it does save you some time, but it's also, there's a line. How much of your work do you want to be quote unquote automated, and how much do you want it to be just all manual, if you will?
Right on. So how does it look to you? You know what I'm saying? So how are you shifting and pivoting? How are you staying relevant?
Relevant.
Why did I say what did I say?
It's all good.
Relevant.
I like that.
What did I say? Relevant?
Yeah.
It's like a revelation. It's revelation. He knew what he was saying.
Is that a real word?
Maybe.
Okay.
I feel like it might be a word.
Did I just make up a word?
Write that down.
We're gonna keep
About to go viral.
Yeah. So how am I, staying relevant or using these tools? I think I'm just seeing kind of what makes sense for, the workload that I want to have, the type of work I want to produce. So I am using some of these tools, but I'm not using them as a crutch. I think there's different ways to use them. Some people might, lean really heavy on that side and they're using it for almost everything. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, I'm not gonna knock people for doing that. It's just, I don't think that's for me personally, but I am still gonna use it because like I said, at the end of the day, it is a tool. And so for me to knock a tool, to me, that just doesn't make a lot of sense personally, but I do understand where some people who are very against it, where they're coming from. I can see both sides, but I'm still learning how I could implement it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to lose kind of that personal touch that makes my work what it is, and why people feel like they connect with me.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
So I've been familiar with you for a while, and just having like marketing, branding background, I notice how you position yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's intentional. Can you speak to like, because you don't call yourself a photographer, you said a brand photographer.
Ooh, shout out Stable Gray.
Right. Yeah. Fellow brand photographers. Yeah. No, honestly, that's a good question. And I like to always be improving, right? So even hearing you say that, I don't know that even like today I would identify even with brand photographer.
Okay.
It's something that's always evolving for me. And so how I've been thinking about it lately is really a marketing partner in general. And I'm sure you guys, you might use similar language.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, like I said, I'm always changing things. So whether it's adding video as a service, not being strictly photography, whether it's talking more strategy, that's been more top of mind for me. Like, how is this content going to be used? What problem is it going to solve? Why did you even hire me to make this content for you? Because it's not about the content, it's about the result that people will get out of it. That's the whole reason they work with us.
Right.
So that's kind of how I've been thinking about it lately. And also to mention, like, my background is I went to UNO for marketing, so I even have that added layer. So it all kind of works together for me.
No, it does. I mean, I would say I'm a marketer that knows how to do design and video and photo. That's kind of my
Right.
background. But that's what I really wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? When
Okay.
you're talking about like how you stay, you know, relevant in what you're doing. Like you said, you're evolving from when you first began to, you know, positioning, adding different services. Just these are just some of the things I think other photographers need to think about in this space and what they can do to keep doing this, you know, full time.
That's a good observation. I'm curious to know what inspires you, what drives your creative juices. You know, we all have our own motivations, and those can stem from all kinds of different things. But we haven't heard yours. What inspires your style? What makes you shoot it the way that you do?
Sure. Yeah, I think, well, personality has a lot to do with it. I would describe myself as generally pretty go with the flow. What you see is what you get. And I feel like when it comes to my work, I try to maintain that realism. So that aspect, there's multiple facets to it, but that's one aspect. But I also love enhancing what's already there. So almost making it a little stylized. And what comes to mind is like contrast. I really like contrast. So it's trying to balance maybe those two of how can I make this realistic, and it also depends on the type of work, but how can I make it realistic, but at the same time enhance it and make it a little stylized in a way that's pleasing to my eye. So that's the balance that I try and find.
Okay, and so just one follow-up question to that, because you talked about adding video to your creative stack. What was that process like? I know there's a lot of creatives out there who are a little leery about having both of those skill sets because they want to be able to do it well. But then I think there's a lot of people that feel like, is it really necessary to learn that other stack? What was the transition like, you know, picking up the video, and then how can other photographers bridge that gap and understand the connection between the two?
Sure, yeah. Kind of like Teddy and I were talking about before the podcast is there isn't a one size fits all. There's no right answer. I think you have to kind of apply it to your situation, what makes sense for you. And I'll say for me, there's, you know, a few factors why I decided to add video on. For one is I see where the industry is going just from talking from professionals who are, you know, years ahead of me, much more established, hearing them talk, hearing, you know, clients' needs as I talk to them, you know, their needs are changing too. And so it's just kind of forward thinking. And that's, I tend to be a futuristic person in general, but then applying that to my work, you know, I see like, okay, this is where the industry is going. And, you know, people have a choice. Do you want to evolve with the industry? Mm-hmm. Do you want to stick with what you want to do? And I don't think either are bad. Like I said, it's just down to your personal preference. And so that was kind of what made me sort of make that decision.
Gotcha.
I know. It's interesting to see as we keep going further and further, you know, with the advancements and stuff like that, I'm seeing people pick up, you know, more like film cameras and stuff like that. What's that all about? Yeah. Is it just the nostalgia? Just kind of like people listening to records?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mix of nostalgia and differentiation as well. You know, it's showing that you have a pure love for it, also showing like your technical like abilities, like you're able to like develop film from scratch. Well, not from scratch, but and then I think also just like I said, the differentiation is hey, I can do something most people can't do. And so it helps me to stand out and gives you something different. There are a lot of purists too that just love the look of like an old lens. I'm not that person. I'm a G Master guy. Like, give me a brand new lens that just came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But certainly that is a look, and I can respect it.
Yeah.
So how do you how do you solve this problem? How do you stay relevant? And I think even more importantly for you is, how do you stay premium? Like, what's the difference between quality and just throwing stuff out there?
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind was intention. I think that's like the overall picture is like, I think intention is what sets you apart and keeps you premium. Because like we were talking about earlier, I mean, in today's day and age, everyone could take a good picture, right? Whether it's with your phone or with a brand new DSLR, or not DSLR, mirrorless on auto or what have you. Like, I think those things matter less and less. It's more about how are you communicating with clients? How are you understanding, you know, what they're wanting and blending that with what you provide? Because I think people come to us for our vision, our eye. But if you're a, let's say a commercial artist, it's a blend of the two, right? So that's kind of how I look at that.
That's solid. I respect that. Yeah, it's like, and that's constantly changing too. Customer service, I think about that a lot, obviously being in a business every single day. And customer service is like, you've got to constantly be raising the bar of what you provide your clients with that others either can't provide or aren't willing to provide. And I think that's a thing that a lot of people getting started miss, is like the customer service, and how important it is to make sure that you have empathy built into every experience that you create for your customer. They don't want you, if they just wanted somebody to take some shots and put it on a hard drive, they would just go on Fiverr or something. You know? They're coming to you because they like you. They're coming to you because they like the interactions they've had with you up until this point. So that's a really good point. How else do we solve it, Teddy? How do we bridge the gap of what's happening in the industry right now with photography and creative services and blend that to keep the quality high from what you've been seeing?
I think there's different ways to utilize it. It could be, you know, on the back end of things, like the back office type you know, approach. Because I've seen, I haven't personally used it, but there's some tools where it can sort through like all the photos, because you know sometimes you're just shooting, and it can sort through and just give you the sharpest images, the best images, and then you can go from there. So just cutting down on, you know, the workflow, so you can spend more time on the art, the creative piece. So I think you just look at your overall process and see where those tools can fit in your process, where you can cut off time. It doesn't always have to be in the actual editing part of it, right? It can be in other pieces, administrative pieces, and things that you do.
That's a good point. And that all kind of feeds the customer service experience, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, they get the images faster, they're more organized, communication is better. So this is what we call quality.
Yeah, and we were talking about, it's like that is the difference, you know. Because yeah, man, these tools, these cameras, the prices are coming down. They're getting easier and easier to use. So it's all about, you know, experience and relationship. You know, 100%. What is that experience like with you? Like, you know, like for instance, I saw like some of the, you know, your process, right? It's like you're walking with them every step of the way. You know, it's like they may not know what to wear or how to style. We just assume people know how to do that. Right. But you sit with them, talk with them, get to know them, and you can help them style. So there's other things that you're offering to improve the experience that they're having. Right. But you got to think outside of the box there.
Got to be, still have to be creative.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Yeah. And honestly, the photography aspect of it, I mean, maybe this is a little controversial, but I think if you're doing it right, it's actually a small portion of the overall process, because if you're supporting your clients the way you should be, you are doing those other things, whether it's guidance with clothing, their brand positioning, so many other factors, right?
And I've been thinking too, even with what we're you know, offering too, it's like people, they hire photographers, they hire videographers. You deliver the photos, you deliver the video, and we've been doing some of that. It's like, well, what do you do now? We assume they know what to do.
Yeah,
Man, how many times you delivered something and then you're like, man, they just released all the photos.
Right.
They
Whoa,
just
hold on.
It's like,
Right.
They need a strategy.
Yeah.
You know, they know that they need that, but they don't exactly know what to do with that.
Right.
So providing a strategy and how to use what we gave them, because we don't want to just create to create it and just get paid. No, we want you to actually use this.
Yeah.
Because we believe that this can actually, enhance or help your organization. So we want you to put this out in the world. So if I need to put together a strategy to show you how to do that,
right,
I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
100%.
Good.
I like that.
So we got kind of deep there. Let's pull it back up. Let's do a fun one. Okay. All right. So, I'm checking the fit. All right. You got the jean, you got the leather clasp. All right. You got the stylish glasses. Where's your style inspiration come from? How do you come up with the pieces that you wear? We know how you show up as a part of your brand. So how do you pick your clothing and your wardrobe style?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know that I've ever really thought about that, but I think I've always been interested in fashion. And, I'll tell you kind of the story of how that even happened was I watched a lot of YouTube growing up. And I think one time I just stumbled on like a men's fashion like YouTube page and kind of just went down the rabbit hole. I don't know why I was drawn to it, but I thought it was cool. And then I used to go to the library a lot. And I remember one time I saw a GQ magazine. Okay. It caught my attention for some reason and started flipping through it. And I think that's really what started me like caring more about fashion is I didn't have words for it, but I was like, man, this is cool. That was the whole idea is like, okay, this is something that interests me for some reason. And then I realized fashion photography exists. I was like, wait a second, this is like combining two things that I'm interested in. And so that was cool. And I try and, put elements of that in my work as well. But I don't know that I have a straight answer for you. It's just influences from all over. And it's more of a feel. I don't think it's necessarily a science. It is an art. Maybe there is some science to it, but it's just kind of like, does this look good to me? Does this feel good to me? Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I can respect it. Favorite store, favorite place to pick up certain things. Let's say jeans. What's your favorite jean place? Everybody's got their thing.
Well, that's the funny thing is I really don't know that I have a specific spot. I'm kind of all over. Been thrifting a lot lately.
Okay.
Jeans. I mean, of course, I've had good luck with Levi's. Can't go wrong with Levi's, right?
You gotta give up some of those spots. I'll go thrifting. Not which ones?
Oh man, DM me. No, just like. No, I mean, I've liked Evergreen lately. That's one that's lesser known. It's really nice.
Okay, so you want to let that one.
What's
out.
that? Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't really gatekeep that much. So
I mean, they got to have your same size too. So I mean, the odds are.
If you want to take the time, go for it. But trying to think what else. I go to thrift worlds sometimes.
Okay.
I like thrift.
That's one of my secret spots.
Yeah, too. I know. I'm revealing all the secrets today. I'm sorry.
That's a spot. That's a spot.
Yep.
Okay, so thrift world, Evergreen, and then. Inspired. You're more of an inspired dresser. I like that, and that just goes to show some of the people out there that you can feel confident in the way that you show up. It's not a specific way that you have to dress as a photographer or creative. You can show up the way that you are, express yourself the way that you like to express your outfits, and that can work well for you, as you see here. Teach the audience. We got one question left.
One left.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm a fellow photographer. I'm talented, but I'm stuck right now. What am I getting wrong? What do I need to do to be able to thrive in what's going on right now, like in the industry? Like I don't know what to do with the AI, with just how things are changing. Like what can I do to be able to keep moving forward?
Sure. Yeah. No, 100%. I think it kind of goes back to that word positioning that we talked about.
Yeah.
Like a comment I wanted to make earlier was, if you are promoting yourself as maybe, let's say, a budget option, I don't think that's a competition you're ever going to win, because like we talked about, there's always someone who could do it cheaper, right? Whether it's with their phone or a camera, they just happen to know to use a camera, but they're not a photographer per se. So I think it's not a fun answer, but it's learning more about marketing in general, but positioning, which is, where do you want to be in the market? How do you want to be perceived? And like an example of this is, do you want to be perceived more like a Honda? Do you want to be more perceived like a Lexus, a Mercedes? All of those have different connotations. Like people buy them for different reasons. Those logos mean different things. Like if, for example, if you bring up Honda, a lot of people think reliability, affordability, durability, all these words, right? And then you go to the luxury parts, whether it's Lexus or Mercedes, and it's more about status, right? So that's an example of positioning. They're the same product, kind of. They're cars. They get you from point A to point B, but they are worlds of a difference in pricing, in the experience of sitting in one, right? And that's all because of positioning. So I'd say try and learn about marketing, more specifically positioning, messaging. Like those are things I would look into personally.
That's good.
That's great.
So we say all the time, that's how you not remove yourself from being a commodity. Like I said, there's all kinds of pizza places and burger places, but it's how you want to be perceived, and thinking about, who's your customer,
right?
Who do you want to work with, right?
Yeah, that's good. Speaking of pizza, are you a pizza guy?
I love pizza. Yeah. Who is it?
What's the best pizza place in Omaha, in your opinion? I have to ask this question.
An interesting transition.
Because we need to know. Like, it's a pizza guy.
I mean, I don't want to get canceled, so that's really controversial.
Top three.
Top three? Okay, all right, I could do that. Let me think here. What's been on my mind lately is Tasty Pizza. Okay. I'm late to the game. Tasty Pizza is great if you've never had it.
I didn't expect that one.
Oh, really? Okay, that's a great one. You got to do Lighthouse. If you live in Omaha, you got to do Lighthouse, right? Like I think Lighthouse is one of those special ones. And there's a lot of other ones I haven't tried yet, but I've heard a lot of good stuff. A new one, so I can't even say it because I haven't tried it, but like. Very Important Pizza seems really good, so I'll have to try that one out.
Wait,
that's a brand new
VIP.
One. Yeah.
Oh,
it's called Very Important Pizza.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet either.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did not expect Tasty. I didn't expect it to be on your list.
Really?
That is, I believe, Teddy, you were the one that told me about that one. Am I mistaken?
I might have, because it's by one of my favorite place to get wings.
Oh, there you go.
Tracks.
Yep.
So it used to be, in that house that was on Leavenworth, but now it's closer to there. So, I've gotten a piece and went over and gotten one. But yeah.
Shout out Tracks for wings. They're wings.
All right, you can't ask me without answering, so I need to know both of you.
I'm fine to share some details about this. I mean, because when I get my pizza, I'm getting my pizza. I don't care how long I have to wait. So, top three. Whew, that's a tough one. Definitely, I'm gonna say Brick Oven.
Okay.
Brick Oven off of 72nd, just off of 72nd and Dodge, right adjacent to Nebraska Furniture Mart. Okay. Their crust is some of the best crust in the city. I would say Mama's Pizza. Mama's Pizza. They got Saddle Creek and out west.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. I cannot eat that after 9 o'clock. Otherwise, I'm gonna be up for a while because it's so much there's so many carbs.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Right.
And then I would say, actually, a recent one I was one of our employees told me about was Big Fred's which is a classic in Omaha. I've driven by that place. I've eaten at restaurants all around that area, including Bronco's, which is not part of the pizza conversation. But Big Fred's is definitely top tier. I could mention a few other ones, but we'll just
leave it at that.
Okay. When it comes to pizza, I mean, saying what's best is hard because there's different types of pizza. This is
Who would have thought this would be such a hard question?
This is how
right?
I get down though, because there's Detroit style, there's pan crust, there's thin, there's New York, you know. So it's like, what kind do you like?
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is just name the ones that I frequent the most.
There you go.
So I'll go
Factual.
that way.
I like it.
Just facts like that I know I keep going to. All right. So Detroit style is my favorite style of pizza.
I was going to ask which style, so that we got that out of the way.
Yep. So Izzy's or Backlots, you know what I'm saying? Like when I got introduced to it, it's in Colorado. Never heard of it before. Tasted it, and man, I was trying to find it here. In the beginning, there was only one place that had it, and now more places got it. Detroit style pizza, man. If you haven't had it, you gotta try it. But those two places for sure we get it from. Mama's Pizza is another. It's not too far away. That's a classic. And what's the other? Domino's.
What?
He's like,
That's not my favorite. My wife likes Domino's. She likes fresh when it's fresh and hot. I said I would name the ones we buy the most. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
All right. I mean,
you can't fault the man.
But there's a Berea pizza that we get. I can't think of the name of the place though. We get that pretty frequently.
Interesting.
Berea.
I've never heard of that.
Berea.
Berea.
Yeah, that's clever.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Oh, what is your favorite crust anyway? What style crust?
Oh man, that's really hard. It shouldn't be this hard, but man, what's like a slightly puffy, not like, I do like stuffed crust, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite per se. Like just kind of like
traditional or like
crispy.
No, I prefer a little on the softer side.
Maybe
actually.
hand tossed. That might be
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's
See,
it.
you guys
Hand
are
tossed.
pizza experts.
we eat a bit of pizza.
Okay.
Hand tosses. That's
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, these aren't muscles. These are carbohydrates on my body.
There you go, man. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm a thin crust hand tossed guy as well. So keep rocking on, man. Well, yeah, that's going to do it for this segment. Thank you for joining us today. We've learned a lot about the intersection between content creation, really at the end of the day, video and photo, and marketing and customer service. So thank you for joining us, and we'll put a link in the description below to Joseph's social media handle and contact information if you choose to allow us to do so. And we'll be back with the next segment.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, we are back for segment 3 to close out the show. So we want to leave you with some takeaways. And you just heard from Joseph Saaid and some of his advice to, a photographer that stuck. But in that conversation, I think the things that stood out as we talk about, not being a commodity, and standing out in today and AI and advancements of, technology and things like that, was brand positioning, right? Brand positioning is the difference. It's like, what makes you different, right? There's no right or wrong. It's like, who is your customer? Who do you want to serve? And then what makes you special?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Makes sense to me. Everything he said was very clear. It was easy to understand.
Yeah.
What really resonated for me was the part about adopting AI and being an early adopter of it.
Yeah.
Understanding that it's something that can help you to get to the brand that you want, whether that be customer service, whether that be image generation, that part. Maybe you leave that out, but maybe you use it to help communicate with your customers better or to produce a better customer experience.
Yeah, just being curious. Yeah, curious in different ways that you can use it.
Yeah.
Right. There's different ways to use it.
Yeah. That's good. I think, we were talking off camera about Claude and how you can use Claude to do automation. I think all of the major AI tools can do things like that. But let's just talk for a second about how they're each different in their own way. Claude, you've used probably Claude more than anybody in the office at this point. What's it most useful for up to this point for you?
I think Claude is more useful for, writing, doing writing, just because of how it was trained. It was trained off of books, almost like all the books in the world. And that's why it leans more to that. So yeah, and creating, different documents and packets and things like that. I think it does very well.
I mean, it makes sense why, because everyone talks about Claude Code and how well it is at building websites and writing code for you. I've used GPT for coding as well. I think it's very useful, especially for debugging. But I'm gonna look into Claude now. I mean, there's been 2 or 3 people that have told me Claude is powerful, so that's good information.
Yeah, and I like it. It asks questions too afterwards, right? To get clarity in a direction that you can go. It's like, oh. Okay. It asks you like 3 questions, and if the questions aren't in there, you can type one in. You know what I'm saying? That or prospective answers that you could have.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Super cool. Super cool. We just want to shout out the content creator community. This platform is for you, as it always has been. This is a social club for content creators. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're on all the platforms under @Content Parlor. We are going to continue to bring you this kind of content, conversations about things that affect you, the creative, every single day. We had the Parlor Awards.
Yeah.
The Parlor Awards was in November. We've got another installment coming in September. September this year.
We landed on
September 25th.
25th. We got a date.
We got a date.
Man, we got a date.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I think the first one, my key takeaways is, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
People walked away from there with opportunities. I've seen some of the models working with people, collaborating, getting paid.
Yeah.
So we help people get paid to create. You'll want to be at the next conference, 2026. We're going to be doing something that has not been done before. I'm not going to reveal it here because everybody's going to copy us. But
you'll hear more and more about it each episode. So you got to tune in.
You're going to hear about it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for everyone supporting this channel. If you want to advertise, if you want to be on this channel, hit us up, nerds@contentparlor.com, and we will get you plugged in and try to find a slot where that might make sense. If we don't get back to you, or if it doesn't work out, there are other ways to get connected. We've got the Content Parlor Studio. If you need a place to rent to produce super dope content, all of this is being shot in the Content Parlor Studio. If you need access to gear, you can rent the gear and take that off location. So that's available to you through the Content Parlor Studio. Just go to contentparlor.com/studio.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
So we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll see you guys. Peace.